My opinion of the mid-season finale, season 8, has actually drastically changed. And not in a positive way. This opinion has changed into something dark, something negative for this mid-season finale. Um, when I reviewed it when it came out, I think that week when it came out, it took me a while to review it because I didn't know how I felt about it. I was in the honeymoon phase. Everything's in a honeymoon phase. Call of Duty, of course you think it's all awesome, and then, you get used to it. I still love Call of Duty, of course, but I waited for the honeymoon phase to end for this episode. So now, watching it probably a month after, it's January 1st, it came out, in December? Early December? This episode is pure garbage. Pure, utter garbage. And I'm pretty sure I gave it a B minus or something? No, this episode deserves like a C minus or a D. It's just all over the place. They could have cut things out. Remember The Last Jedi? All of these plot elements that people hated? Well, double those plot elements and make like 5 of those and then shove them in one episode for a awesome, emotional mid-season final. They really hyped up this episode, ladies and gentlemen. They really said all of the battles from Season 8 would collide together. Okay, there's one problem right there. What battles? I mean, what war? There was no war for Season 8. Okay, 2, they said it would be emotional. But what's emotional? Carl getting bit? I mean, it would be emotional if they wrote it as a emotional death, but Carl in this season felt extremely forced. Like they were having a message that they wanted him to tell. It just felt forced. It did not feel like Carl. At the last minute, he's like, these are good people. Rick, Dad, these are good people. I met Sadiq in the woods, and he has a mom. He has a mom, Rick. He has a mother. He's a good man, Rick. But Negan has a mother, and he killed Glenn. He killed Abraham. Oh, my God. What if Negan has, like, a quote that his mom used to tell him? We don't know that, so Negan's a bad guy. Makes absolutely no sense. The writing is utter garbage. I've never seen such poor, crappy writing. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to cuss. That's how mad I am. That's my dog, unfortunately. Quiet, Biscuit. Yeah, so this was awful. They could have cut so much. Aaron and Enid going to the ocean side, cut completely. It made no sense. It did nothing for this episode. It just dragged it down and made it a heck of a lot worse. Father Gabriel talking to the doctor, cut that. Could have been in episode 9. The hilltop, cut that. Could have been in episode 9. Maggie, they could have had that, but it was also utter garbage. They didn't even defend themselves. They just let them come up. Oh, why aren't they coming up? Why aren't they coming? Why aren't they fighting? Why aren't they fighting? Why aren't they fighting the saviors that are coming up? I mean, come on, guys. You fought so hard this whole half, and now you're just giving it up. It's funny how Simon just shoots a guy in the back. Like he matters. And then you waste like 5 minutes Maggie burying this person we don't even know their name to. Back in The Walking Dead, you cared because you didn't really care about the people, but you cared more about Amy and the aftermath of what, it hurt these people. Rick getting so affected by this. It wasn't these random people that died. You didn't really care about them. You could care less, but it was just what impacted the characters. That's what made season 1, the camp attack. It made it so memorable and so intense and just creepy as heck. So true horror right there. This episode, I've been talking on YouTube how this episode should have gone, and I'm going to tell you my script of how this episode should have gone because I'm a writer. So as a script writer, this is how season 8 mid-season finale should have gone. So, all right, we start off with Rick and the Junkyard Group. Same as the original episode. And Rick gets left behind, the Junkyard Group splits. They do come back in the second half. But Rick has to go back to Carl because he's stranded now. So he tries to call for Carol. And believe it or not, Carol and Jerry, in my version, do not show up like superheroes and save the day. No, they're actually held up in the hilltop, and the hilltop story arc in this episode, in my version, I put it in episode 9. So we see what happens to them in episode 9, why they did not come and get Rick. So Rick actually has to trek all the way back to Alexandria in basically the dark, in the woods, and he is driven by anger, driven by fear that Carl, his son, and Alexandria will be obliterated. He starts seeing visions of Carl in his mind, Judith in his mind. Heck, even Lori appears in one scene. He's running through the mud. He's scratched up. He has to fight walkers with his bare hands. He's getting dirtied up. He actually manages to cut his leg. He's crying. He's dirty. He's almost giving up to the point of exhaustion. He's actually almost about to die. But he keeps crawling through this mud, trying to get back to Alexandria. In this version of my show of episode 8, it's only Alexandria and Rick's story. So back at Alexandria, Carl is the hero that we all want him to be. Not the Carl in episode 8, their version, which was seemingly a hero, but really got pushed to the side again. No, in this version, Carl is telling everyone to get ready, to load their arms, to defend Alexandria safe zone, to plant bombs on the vehicles right nearby, so if just in case the saviors come, they can destroy the vehicles. And these vehicles don't even work anyway. They're all old junky vehicles, so that works perfectly. So they boom and they explode if they get too close. Negan and Carl, of course, have a one-on-one talk again. But instead of everyone falling back, they defend with their guns, okay? Carl, he steps up, and Negan reveals his backstory. He was a coach, and he coached children. He lost his wife, Lucille, his daughter, and many, many other people. And he says no matter what he does to the saviors, no matter what punishment he performs on them, they are his only family. And he will have to punish Carl and Alexandria for killing many, many men of his and women. So that shows Negan his rage. So all of a sudden, Negan just rages. He says, "We push in and we kill them now." Something like that. And Carl's like, "You'll never win." And then Negan goes to one of the characters. He's like, "I like this kid. I like him very much. Let's push in now and kick their little asses." Something like that. So yeah, they push in and people die and stuff. And instead of Carl getting bit, like the wimpy version in episode 8, Carl ends up exploding. So what happens is the savior sees Michonne and Judith on a balcony and pulls a grenade pin and is about to throw it. Carl sees this and jumps on the guy, and the grenade explodes. Sorry, my phone's messing up. The grenade explodes, and we don't see what happens to Carl until the end of the episode. So what happens? We don't know. But we see characters like Tobin get shot. They die. We see other people like Scott. They get shot, and they die as well, unfortunately. We lose casualties. Not big characters, but just little characters to make the episode more impactful. You know, we've seen Tobin since season 5, and it would impact us if he died. And these explosions going off, they would make more sense if they actually killed someone. So, for example, if Tobin lost a leg, if we saw people getting destroyed by these explosions, it would give the explosions more of an impact. You know, they had the explosions in the real mid-season final. So, then Negan is inside of the home. Like the original episode, but instead of him fighting Rick, it is Daryl. So this really works because Daryl wanted to kill Negan this whole first half of season 8, okay? That was his motivation. He hated Negan. And this would be much more impactful to see Negan fight Daryl. Negan's like, "There you are. You like that dog shit we fed you?" And then Daryl and him have a fist fight. And of course, Daryl falls out the window just like Rick, but instead it's Daryl. It makes so much more sense. And it would make the scene more impactful. Then, of course, we get, more battles in the streets. People dying on both sides. We get to see a lot of characters dying. Dwight ends up helping Rosita. Rosita is, trapped. The explosion the explosion traps Rosita. Something falls on her leg, and Dwight comes and saves the day. A savior is about to take her out. Dwight comes and saves the day, blows his brains out, and grabs Rosita by the arms, pulls her up, and they're allies, and they're back to back. She's on this side, he's on this side, and they're shooting the saviors to defend Alexandria. So back on Rick's journey, he's almost there. He's almost there, and there's hordes of walkers. They're just so scary, and he has to punch them with his bare hands. He rips their faces off with his bare hands, punches them, puts his hand through one of their chests. He puts his hand through their chest, and it goes out the other side because they're so decayed. He's like, shh. Really, really cool stuff. And when he makes it back, you see smoke. Alexandria is really, really in a tough spot. The Saviors have fallen back. Negan thinks he's done enough. And he lost a lot of casualties in this battle. So he has fallen back. Okay? He's fallen back, and Rick comes. And we have the same thing happening like in the original episode where we go down in the sewers. People are trying to hide. We go in the sewers. We go down, and we come to Carl and Michonne. But Carl was not bit. All of his body parts are blown off. His arms are blown off, his legs are blown off, and he is dead. So that is my storyline for Season 8, Episode 8, my version. There's one flaw, of course, in my version. You could change it. Negan risking the lives of all of his soldiers. But it could be justified because of his rage. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is my story arc for Episode 8. That's what I would have done for the mid-season final. What do you think? I think this episode is utter garbage. The writing, the character development is all horrible. Carl getting bit. I feel so sorry for the actor. Chandler Riggs is not my favorite character. Carl's not my favorite, character. Chandler Riggs is not a very good actor. But it's very sad that they did fire this poor guy off, It's very unfortunate. He's a good guy, He deserves a lot more, and I hate Gimple. That's why my brother and I are signing the petition to fire Gimple, because I hate what The Walking Dead's become. Utter garbage. This episode was utter garbage. It just got pointless character storylines that went nowhere. Stuff that could have been cut and put somewhere else. I think you guys really enjoyed my script. It was really cool, wasn't it? Would have made a better episode than this piece of garbage. I hope you enjoyed my video, my thoughts on the episode, and my script of what it should have been. Leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, do whatever the heck you want to do, and bye everyone!